Welcome. Would everybody please rise? Jack, and join Jack in singing America the Beautiful. And let's all join together. And now would you all join together in saying the four-way pledge? The four-way test. Of the things we say or do.
Is this truth? Is this fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
If you are a visiting guest or a visiting Rotarian, please stay standing. It is wonderful to have so many guests here, and because of that, our imperial leader has said to me, if you take more than 4 seconds per guest, you lose your Rotary membership. So, okay, let's start here.
I want to introduce my wife, Grace Gam.
We have 3 very special guests today, if they would please stand and face the camera right behind you. So, in the green zone, we have Kathy, and then we have Luann in the kind of peach, and then Carla in the purple. They happen to be granddaughters of Charles Monroe, who was one of our founders. So you'll hear more about them later. We're delighted to have them.
David Harper, Boulder Valley Rotary Club, and 2 seconds left.
Wonderful, thank you. Here you go.
This is my dear friend and sorority sister, Marilee Zurich, who also belongs to our Boulder Valley Rotary Club on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Hi, this is Pat Trilch. I'm also from Boulder Valley Rotary, and I'm really happy to be here. Friends, especially with Jean Bedell and Joanne Jocelyn. You couldn't do any better.
I have a good friend who's looking us over as far as becoming a member. His name is Nick Altamari, if I'm saying that correctly, with EXP Realty.
Okay. Yes, please. Please, we have quite a quiet. It's quite a quiet. In the question.
Oh, thank you, Carl. So I am from Boulder Valley Rotary Club also, and just in front of Carl, I want to say thank you. Thank you what you did for us. Without you, I don't think I'll be here today, or Carl. Thank you.
And I'm quite a guy.
I'm Jane Engel. I'm from Boulder Valley Rotary Club as well, visiting today to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you, Jane. Around here? Are you going to introduce Scott or not?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I have a couple people to introduce. First of all, I'd like to reintroduce Heitor here from Brazil, and I'll let him say a quick word about what he's been up to.
Hi, my name is Hector. I'm from Brazil, and I'm very happy to be here.
And I'd also like to introduce my dad, who is here from Florida on spring break. He missed his Rotary meeting this morning in St. Petersburg, Seminole area, so he's making his mandatory makeup here.
I'm huffing and puffing. I'm trying to get there as quickly as possible.
I'm Terry Hermsmeyer. I'm in town to see my husband. Some of you know I've taken a temporary position in Logan, Utah. I am also a member of Boulder Flatirons, and we wish you a happy birthday.
Have we missed anybody? How'd I do?
You did great.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to our 100th birthday party. Yeah. We are going to highlight some of our guests, some of our members today, and I think it's going to be one of the best meetings of the year. I know I say that every meeting, but I really mean it this time. So, now I always end the meeting with thanks to all the people who help bring the meeting together, but I want to start off the meeting with that gratitude because it's so very important. And I want to talk about not just the people who have helped out to bring this meeting together, because there's a lot of production. I'm just telling you, behind the scenes, there's a lot of work by volunteers to make every single meeting run as smoothly as possible. And the past president greeters, the whole year is scheduled by Carol Griever, and today it was Marty Evans. So thank you, Marty. The Red Badge greeter all year long has been coordinated by Charlotte, and today it was Krista Marks. So thank you, Krista. Jean Lindeke, she handles the membership and the member and guest registration. Today it was done by Alessandro Sachs and Tom Chesney. So thank you guys for helping out there. Brad, you help coordinate the raffle all year long, and today it was manned by Judy Pitt and Paul Jurdy. So thanks. A couple other things before we move into today's meeting. The piano that you're going to hear today was donated for the day by Boulder Piano Gallery. So it's a really nice piano, and I know we're going to have some beautiful music today. So I'm really looking forward to that. Spice of Life, they always go above and beyond, and today they did this. I walked in, I had no idea what the menu was going to be, that we were going to get China, all of this. They did it on their own. So Spice of Life, 22 years. And of course, we really want to thank Boulder Jewish Community Center. Is this not the best place to be on a Friday afternoon? So that being said, let's start off with,
I think somebody needs a party hat.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So we're going to edit this out. Is that right? Is that what I heard? So we do have special guests here today, and I'd love for you guys to come on up. Would you mind coming up, Carla, Luann, and Kathy? I'm going to read our vignette this Friday. So the purpose of today's meeting is to highlight the who of our club. And I like to talk about 1919 as it relates to the people who are our founding fathers. Those four were Charles Monroe, P.L. Kellerman, Lester DeBacker, and Frank Persons. So I'm proud that we can highlight one of those founders, Charles Monroe Sr., and the three here today, his grandchildren, Carla Randall, Luann Erickson, and Kathy Kohler. So thank you for being here. Charles Monroe was one of the original four members fed up with the Lions Club practice of fines for minor offenses. And he was our second president from 1920 to 1921. Charles was born in 1881 and died in 1967 at the age of 86, practicing as a dentist for over 60 years. He graduated from the University of Denver School of Dentistry in 1905, moved to Boulder, and married Edna Helen Paddock, daughter of Boulder Daily Camera founder Lucius Carver Paddock. They lived at the corner of 10th and Aurora. In World War II, in humorous government fashion, Charles received a draft notice, which was promptly corrected upon his appearing before the draft board, showing that he was 60 years old. However, both of his sons served in the war. His son, Lou P. Monroe, joined Charles in Rotary. And what I can only assume was a family scandal, Charles Monroe Jr. joined Kiwanis. As evident, the family was diverse in volunteer service within the Boulder community. Most of his dentistry was at the Mercantile Building at Broadway and Pearl Street until the 1960s when parking and elevator became a problem. Granddaughter Kathy shared with me he served the citizens of the Boulder area, patients, friends, and strangers with the love and honesty that he shared with his family every day of his life. We should be proud of this Boulder Rotary citizen, an example for all of us of service above self and a life well lived. Thank you, Carla, Luann, and Kathy, for being with us here today. Okay, I would like to follow that with a letter. First, I'm going to start off an abbreviated letter that we received this past week. Thanks for your unequaled hospitality and generosity. That year in Boulder transformed my life. He personally wants to thank us that that year as an exchange student gave him the drive to dream big and to go further in life than he ever thought was possible. He is immensely grateful for all former and current Boulder Rotarians for your service to our community and giving life-altering opportunities to young people like I was back in 1977 through your youth exchange program. So our club is growing. As you can see, look around. It's not just because it's a special day, but because of a hard work over many years. We have a membership graph that I just wanted to share with you, if we could. This is this year's membership graph. The purple line, that's good, okay? This is really a multiple year strategy. I just want to talk about just our club because Bill Meyer and Marty, so this has been multiple years under the leadership of the membership committee with Darla, said if we build a club that is fun to be around, that is engaging, that's making an impact not only in the community but in the lives of our members, people will be naturally drawn to it. And so I'm just really proud that we can actually say that that's what's happening, okay? And so I think the evidence speaks for itself. So I just wanted to kind of show that. This past Tuesday, 2 of the 3 water hydration stations were installed. One was at East Boulder Rec Center, and one was at 17th at the Boulder Creek Path. We've got a couple of photos. Could we put those up there? They are wonderful. There we go. It is a deluxe one with the dog, there at the bottom there. The drinking fountain, okay, and you can fill your bottle as well. Okay, next one. You can see our plaque is right next to where you get the drink of water. It is right next to the tennis courts where people are working out and getting really thirsty. And there's all the people who are in attendance for that ribbon cutting. Over at 17th Street and the Creek Path, there we go. There's a very similar one. And there's all the people who cut that. Is that it for the pictures? That's the last one, okay? So let's give a big round of applause for that. So we have some proclamations that I'd love for Danny to come on up and talk to us about. Would you mind coming up, Danny?
100 years. Isn't that something to celebrate? We want to shout it from the mountaintops. Yeah. Well, the 100-year committee said we want to even do more than that. We want to go to the city, with the county, and even the state, and see if they will proclaim April 1st as Boulder Rotary Day. Well, on your table, you'll see that we have proclamations that are going to occur. They're going to, in the next few days, Monday with the state, Tuesday with the city and the county next week. They're going to read and post proclamations about the 100-year anniversary of Boulder Rotary. I want to thank Sue Deans for drafting the original proclamation that we presented to each one of those government institutions. But I want to read you the one from the state that we're going to have videotaped. And here it is. State of Colorado, the House of Representatives, convened in the 72nd General Assembly, hereby extends sincere commendations to the Rotary Club of Boulder. 100th anniversary. April 1st, 2019 marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of Boulder's Rotary Club. The club currently has 220 members that represent local businesses, government, education, and numerous other professions. They provide countless hours to address local and international needs. Boulder's Rotary Club is known for a number of signature programs, including Crayons to Calculators, which fills more than 10,000 backpacks a year with school supplies for students who need them. The club is also a leader in establishing Rotary's Preserve Planet Earth initiatives. Their fundraising prowess, in which every dollar raised is matched by the Rotary Foundation, has been used worldwide to help eradicate polio, work towards peace and conflict prevention, promote water sanitation and economic and community development. The Colorado House of Representatives salutes Boulder Rotary Club for their century of service to Colorado, and we wish them continued success in their mission to exemplify service above self. On request of Representative Edie Hooten, given first day of April 2019, State Capitol, Denver, signed by Casey Becker, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Woo-hoo!
Thank you. All right, we have a birthday cake. John, why don't you go ahead and take it?
This mic on? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Normally I don't need a mic, but okay. So this is an amazing birthday cake. It's actually 3 cakes. There's a 1, a 0, and a 0. So if you haven't had an opportunity to come up and look at it, well, it's too late because I'm gonna cut it here in a minute. But before I cut this cake, I just want to say one thing. Lena sends her greetings. Unfortunately, she had something planned many, many months ago, and she's not able to be here today because she and I had the privilege of co-chairing our Centennial Committee this year, and it has been an absolute joy. So on behalf of Lena, she's here celebrating with us in spirit. But the other thing I do want to say is, as I look at this amazing cake, this 100, it reminds me of all of the amazing Rotarians that have come before us, including Charlie Monroe and many, many others. There are just too many to mention, but in my membership in Rotary here for 30-some years now, they have been incredible mentors to me. There is one I would just like to call out because he passed away while Len and I were back on the East Coast visiting grandchildren, and that's George Lane Ernest. And the reason I want to mention Ernie the attorney is he was our club president when we celebrated our 75th anniversary, and I had the privilege of being there as well as many of you did too. So, you know, what we're thinking, as Mike said earlier, we're focusing on the who of Boulder Rotary today, and it's just incredible the caliber of people that for the past 100 years have made up our club. The other thing, though, that this 100 reminds me of, and I want to share with you, is how proud I am to be a member of this club that chose to celebrate our 100th birthday by raising over $100,000 to make gifts back to the community. that is a club that I am really proud to be a part of. So thank you so much. So with that said, and before we attempt to blow out the candles, I think we should sing happy birthday to ourselves. So, what? Oh, can we get a photo? I don't know. Okay, you want me?
You lift that one up. You lift this up, and I'll lift that.
Oh, okay.
Just angle it just a little bit.
Okay.
No, you guys got to sit down because she's going to take it right there.
Okay, I'll be behind the balloon.
Everybody, look that way. She's going to panoramic. You good?
Oh, okay. All right. Look at what? Yeah, okay. Look up there in the stage. Okay.
Panoramic.
All right. Okay. Don't move, or you're going to be blurry.
Nancy Chin Wagner, look that way.
Okay. We got it? All right. Yay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Boulder Rotary. Happy birthday to us. Yay! Okay. I cut the. Which cake do I cut? Okay. 1, 2. Okay.
3.
That almost lit him on fire. Okay.
And right there, get that Chancey.
Okay.
Take a picture.
Okay, got to cut. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now I'm cutting the cake. Okay. Here we go. Now, I'm not cutting the rest of the cake. I'm going to turn that over to experts. I learned a long time ago, hire things out that I don't know how to do. So it's going to be hired out, and you will all have an option to have a piece of this cake with ice cream or without ice cream, but that's going to be a little later, okay? We'll be passing that out. Anyway, thank you all. It's just a wonderful celebration. I love this club.
Okay, so we've got balloons, we have a cake, we're about to have entertainment. What's missing? Presents. We need presents. Do I have some assistance with some presents? Do not open this yet until everyone has their present. Do not open it yet. No peeking. Does everybody have their present? Everyone has their presents. Then, just like Christmas, let's open it up together. Go, let's go. See what's inside. Could I have your attention? Could I have your attention? You've heard me talk about it over the last week or so, last month or so. That is our 20-page insert that will be in Sunday's Daily Camera, going out to 35,000 people here in our community. Because a month ago, we talked about it with you, saying if you would like to, if your business would like to put an ad in it, this not only didn't cost the club anything, we actually, 10% of the proceeds comes back to our club. We're going to get great exposure, and I'm looking forward to having you read that. So that is your gift, and the gift for all of us. Yep. And I want to give a big thanks to Lindsay Sachs and Sarah Amarani and Marty Evans and all of those. I know there's a few that I'm forgetting. Jancy Campbell, who worked on that tirelessly over the past month to make that happen. So that's something to be proud of. So I am going to read out the raffle number. So get your raffle ticket out and then hand it over to our MC for today's program, Patty. So just get your number out. Ready? It is 225-1305. 225-1305. You got to work on this bingo thing. We've talked about it. You got to yell. Who's got it? 225-1305. Okay, you got to yell it. We sold this ticket to somebody. 225-1305. See, if you've got that number, that means you win. That's the way this thing works. I'm going to the number, I'm going to back up. Okay, back up. Second chance, 225. Here's the backup, 225-1332. 1332. Michael Weatherwax, yeah. Awesome. Patty Limerick, would you mind coming up here, ma'am? It's all yours, ma'am.
Right. Howdy. Hey, hi, howdy. I am so honored to have the chance to be the MC here, and we'll just start off for a moment or two for this happy birthday thing where you indulge me as an historian and my preoccupations just for a moment, but it is a wonderful Rotary story. And the good news is after just a minute and a half of this historical reckoning, we'll get to 4 original limericks that I composed for the Boulder Rotary Centennial. And I will obviously be particularly personally pleased that our anniversary so miraculously coincides with April Fool's Day. That is just such a joy. I can't believe how lucky I am in having that. And I'm wearing a little bit of a fool's jacket here, I think, for that occasion. So I would like to speak about the never quite resolved legacy of Sinclair Lewis's 1922 best-selling novel Babbitt, with its harsh and mocking portrait of George F. Babbitt's men's club. Sinclair Lewis never explicitly called it Rotary, but there was a very clear message that Sinclair Lewis was thinking of Rotary. In one of the many legacies of Sinclair Lewis's novel, in 1934, word got out that a dictionary was considering a definition that made Babbitt, a very empty-headed fellow in the novel, a synonym for Rotarian. More of that, more. Ooh. Very bad, very bad. So, a person whose name should come up, and probably does come up often, Leland D. Case, who was the editor of the Rotarian, he went into action. He traveled to Vermont, where he had found out that Sinclair Lewis, the novelist, had a summer home. Leland Case knocked on Sinclair Lewis's door and woke him. This was not a great way to start a process aimed at changing Sinclair Lewis's opinion of Rotary, to get a novelist up at mid-morning. But Sinclair Lewis invited Leland Case to breakfast, and they talked for hours. Here is how the conversation started. Case asked Lewis what he, Lewis, did not like about Rotarians. Lewis said, you're going to have to do another expression of alarm in a moment. Yeah. Okay, you're ready. Okay, good. Lewis said, I don't like their singing. And then the editor of the Rotarian, Leland Case, responded, neither do I. What else? I don't know what we're supposed to do about that. He was a good man in many ways. Apparently that exchange built trust, but I need to say that I quote them with the objectivity of an historian, a professional historian, and I do not in any way endorse their opinions on Rotarian singing. Okay. Here is the great, great, great outcome, and the reason to tell you this story. When Leland Case arrived back at his Chicago office, he found a telegram from Sinclair Lewis saying that their meeting had, quote, made me approve of Rotary. And later, another inspirational move, later Leland Case persuaded Sinclair Lewis and a number of the other prominent critics of Rotary to write for the Rotarian. And that inclusiveness seems to have healed all wounds. So it's a very excellent story. And Rotary tells that story in their official publications. This is the first ever presentation of the limerick that encapsulates that story. It's very fresh, we'll just say that. So, reality and rumor cohabit when Rotary gets jumbled with Babbitt. But Case would not shirk his chance for good work, and Lewis renounced his bad habit. The words four-way are hard to fit in the rhythm of a limerick. I couldn't even begin to think of ways to get Rotary rhymed or centennial. But I have figured out a couple of tries with four-way test, though it's pretty, well, okay, we'll just go with these and just be assured that the very last limerick is really good. Getting this four-way test is really pretty hard. The content is spectacular in all of the limericks, so, okay. Human nature is not at its best, and ill temper is nearing its crest. America, cheer up. This will quickly clear up. Sorry. Okay, this is such an art form. I have to do this one more time. Okay. Human nature is not at its best, and ill temper is nearing its crest. America, cheer up. This will quickly clear up when you practice the four-way test. And then another mixed success here. Humanity's long-running quest to find ways to bring out the best reached a peak and a high point, a goal and an end point in the words of the four-way test. And then it turns out that service above self is a lot easier to work with as a rhythm. So this is really good. They don't give Nobel Prizes in this genre, we'll just say, or Pulitzer Prizes, I don't know why. Okay, in an era of slogans and screeds, midst the clashing of doctrines and creeds, at the top of the shelf sits service above self, which unleashes a flood of good deeds. Thank you. Now, my last minute here, I'm making a change of pace. I will soon take up my excellent assignment of bringing up fellow Rotarians for brief performances and presentations, but I do have one personal story I wanted to tell, and I will do it. The story of my attendance at Boulder Rotary on the first Friday of February of 2005. Expect a little voice steadiness problem, okay? Okay. Why is this story worth telling on this centennial? Because it goes to the bedrock of the reasons why so many people have loved Rotary and found their bearings in life from being a Rotarian and having the descendants of the person who made that possible is a great feature. My first husband, Jeff Limerick, died of a stroke on the first Tuesday of February of 2005. This would seem like a reason why attending the meeting of a civic group would have been anything but a priority for me 3 days after Jeff's death. On the contrary, I came to the meeting on that first Friday of February in 2005. Why? Because I knew that attending Rotary would give me comfort. I was right about that. And now, I shall be introducing 100 years of exuberance and good nature encapsulated in what will be just a second or two over 30 minutes. It will be an astounding thing, 100 years, woo, just swoosh down there. So here we go. We're going to begin with with Gordon, oh, heaven's sake, for Gordon Gamb leading us with requests from the audience. And so Gordon will be up at the piano, where as soon as the screen goes up, we'll be able to see Gordon at the piano. And, or a wonderful thing will happen from behind the screen, either way. And so, Gordon, would you join me? And I'll be ready to your requests.
I said I would take requests so they can pick any song from that song.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, your MC was overcome with sentiment a little bit there and forgot to tell you, look at your songs and shout out a request. So you have quite an excellent compilation of lyrics there. So in about 4 seconds, one of you is going to shout out a request. That's where we're going. Shoni would like, It's Only a Paper Moon. And you have words. right. Woohoo! Gordon, this is we're all in search of renewable energy resources these days, and this is one of them here. This fellow and on a piano. This is the solar wind back off. I mean, this is really the thing. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game. What? Take me out to the ball game. To the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Woohoo! Woohoo! So,
I think I'd like
in
to
light
play
of
a mystery song. See if anybody can guess this one. This is a Russian Jewish song.
okay, he will play a Russian Jewish song,
And see if you can guess what it is.
and there will be no prizes, but there will be recognition and honor for anyone who guesses what the song is. I'm sorry to say, or should we do one more? Oh, then we're going to do You Are My Sunshine.
What?
We're going to do You Are My Sunshine, because that is my personal choice. And I am exercising unilateral. There's only sunshine, but skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving on quickly. This is a situation where indeed no one needs introduction. Everyone knows these excellent people, so I won't take time on that. And I will just say to you, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming a cowboy poet, George Russell.
Most cowboy poetry is about 80% is about cattle and horses dying and cattle dying. Only about 20% is about love. This is a kind of a sad cowboy poem, love song. I loved her with all of my heart. I loved her right from the start. I promised her to love her all of my life. I gave her my all. All she gave me was strife. But I loved her. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, I loved her, but I was too blind to see that she was just like me. On this one thing we did agree, 'cause she loved her. There was no love for me. She loved her, and this is the saddest part. There was no room for anyone else in her heart. But I loved her right from the start. She hurt me, broke much more than my heart. She hurt me, and she didn't care. She hurt me, that beautiful Mustang mare, that beautiful Mustang mare. I'd give her a bite of apple, she'd look in my eye, then I'd turn around, she'd take a bite of my thigh. But I loved her more than anyone knows. I would brush her mane, she would crush my nose. I would trim her hooves, she'd nuzzle my boot. Then she stomped so hard, broke every bone in my foot. I took her to her stall, she turned around with a flare. I woke up after 6 months in intensive care. But I loved her, but she didn't care. I loved her, that beautiful Mustang mare, that beautiful Mustang mare. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not weeping so much as I was, but that was very moving and unexpected in all kinds of ways. It is my pleasure now to bring up Valerie Lippitz, who is going to engage us with a coyote in our midst.
So it's pretty hard to follow my friend George, but many, many years ago, when my hair was long and my bosom was not, I spent many months studying coyotes and pronghorns in the Tetons. Days and days I would wander through the sagebrush, tearing at my skin, looking for coyote dens. And for weeks at a time, I would sit on a hill, either on Blacktail Butte or a hill by Kelly Warm Springs, if any of you guys are Grand Teton fans, just sitting with my spotting scope watching for my critters. Well, sometimes when my subjects were at rest, I had nothing to do except stay there. And things would go through my mind. And I would create songs in my head, and I would create poems. But as the weeks and weeks went on, my mind got emptier and emptier, until finally there was nothing left in it except the song of the coyote. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. And trust me, you do not want me to use the microphone for this.
That is really, you think you know people a little bit, and then you just say, now we have to spend the rest of this year looking at the people we think we know and thinking, okay, what talent there, huh? Let's just hear that, shall we? What a thing. Okay, it is now my pleasure to bring Michael Brady back up, and he will do some items, or he'll explore a common feature of our lives, I guess, that we all cope with.
So there's a story behind this. Chad, why don't you come on up here? So about a month ago, I stood right up here and I said, we're going to have this, we're going to highlight the talent of our members. And so you had some sheets of paper there on the table. And I got one of them back. And it said, knows zip code, Chad Stam. I'm like, wow, this is impressive. So I'm thinking he's like some savant who knows zip codes of the whole United States, like zip code guy down Pearl Street. So about a week ago, I put the agenda together and I emailed it out to everybody. And Chad replies back, what the heck are you talking about? Okay. So come to find out, he didn't write his name down next to it. Daryl did. Daryl wrote down that he knew zip code. So we just want to thank Daryl for highlighting that you do, in fact, know your own personal zip code. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, great. Let's see. Drum roll. What is your personal zip code?
80304.
Yeah! Thank you. You got to get up pretty early, Daryl, to beat us.
Oh my goodness. All righty. So now we are getting back to that awkward quotation from, I don't think Leland Case really meant it when he said that he didn't like Rotarian singing. I think that was just him trying to build a bridge with a contentious guy. So back to Rotarian singing, I guess, is what I'm really saying with that, is that get that Leland Case, get that Sinclair Lewis out of your mind, and we are going to have Jack Rummel join us here, and we are going to have a sing-along. Right. It's not our first rodeo of having a sing-along with Jack Rummel, who's such a feature of so many memories of mine of Rotary.
For a whole lot of years, Boulder Rotary used to be a singing club, and that has sort of fallen by the wayside. But our illustrious president wanted to bring a little of that back, so we're going to sing one of the songs that we used to sing a lot. It's called Smile, Sing a Song, And the words, I think, will be visible at some point. Okay, and so I'm just going to pound away on the piano, and you guys are going to follow.
Song.
I am now going to have Pam Hike join us for a classical rendition, which will have nothing to do with coyotes, I think. Is that right? It just will be, well, we don't know. There's, I just see mixtures here. Brutality.
So, what was music like 100 years ago? That came to my mind, and I decided to dig in and see if I could figure out what was happening back then. What I discovered was that classical music, Bach, Beethoven, you know, all the dead guys, their music was still popular. Marches were very popular at that time too. And the music that was being written was full of life, love, and laughter. And I came across a song that I thought was pretty indicative of what was happening. It had life in it. A 17-year-old boy went to his first dance. His experiences there messed with his mind, and his parents got all upset. There was an element of love in it because he had his first kiss. And then, of course, we get to provide the laughter. I'm going to read you the words of this song. It says, bashful Johnny Green just turned 17 when he wore his first long pants, and some friends he knew introduced him to Mabel at the dance. She was awfully nice, so he kissed her twice, and then he ran away. 1 week later, all the boys heard bashful Johnny say, "Oh, why did I kiss that girl? Oh, why, oh, why? Why did I kiss that girl? I could almost cry. I'm nervous, so nervous. I'm worried and blue. If her kiss did that, what would her hugging do?" Ma says I'm a wreck. I'll admit she's right. Pa says he'll break my neck. He can't sleep at night. They're upset, and all because I ain't like the way I was. Why, oh, why did I kiss that girl? I'm going to play a little bit of it so you can kind of get a feel for the music that goes along with this. Either I'm nervous or I had too much coffee. Oh, geez. I'm not done yet. I spent a lot of time digging all this information out. The other thing that was happening, I got to stick to my notes so I don't start talking too much. The war had just ended, and 1919 was a time of excitement and anticipation. Soldiers were arriving home, and love was in the air. Songwriters were hard at work, participating in all of this by writing many long love songs. I'm going to play 2 love songs. One of them is one that was actually written in 1919, and it was called All For You. I'm going to play a part of that, and then I'm going to play one that is a current love song that was written 100 years after the first one. And I want you to just experience the difference between the 2 songs. Filled with love. And here's one written 100 years later. One more. What I discovered was that, and I went looking for this, and I actually found it, a song that was written it was actually written in 1916, but was very popular in 1919 and still is popular today, 100 years later. It's called St. Louis Blues.
case there was any misunderstanding there and you thought I was going to try to cut you off from that beautiful rendition of St. Louis Blues, that was not there. I was totally behind that, and that was beautiful. And it is, I believe, as an historian, the best way to bring the people of the past fully into our minds and into our lives is to listen to their music and to think 1919, and we're here now, and heaven willing, in 2000, well, let's not go there just yet, but 100 years from now, maybe they will be listening to that. So I do want to say that one of the great aspects of being in Rotary for me is having so many friends who served in the military. And today is Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day, so I would like to start by having the Vietnam veterans in the room stand so that we could acknowledge you. And I can't quite be, could we have all of the veterans stand as well? Because it's Vietnam Veterans Day, but I don't want to cut up the acknowledgement there. And just to say that there's a possible program here, I'm very happy to be involved with the Student Veterans Association on campus, and I have 3 student veterans in my class right now, and they are an extraordinary group, and maybe that's a program in the future sometime. So it is my pleasure now to go sit down and to hand this over to our wonderful president, Michael Brady.
Thank you, everybody. What a talented group of people we have in this club, huh? Yeah. So, in today's meeting, we had a birthday party. We had cake and candles, a present, entertainment, balloons. What we didn't do was wish before we blew out the candle. So I would like for us to do that now together. Boulder Rotary is more than accomplishments or money raised towards worthy projects. Boulder Rotary is about people. It's about exchange students from other countries seeing the good in our country, and our young student ambassadors exploring the world, expanding their views, making international friends courtesy of Rotary. It's the people here in Boulder caring enough about people in other communities to help them in their need, becoming their friend, and discovering that the people we set out to help end up changing our lives too. There's a saying, you can't hate someone whose story you know. Rotary helps us know the story of others and care for them as we would care for ourselves. So even more powerful than wishes is what we can imagine and then make that happen. Can you imagine what would be possible if everyone acted towards each other in this way? Can you imagine if Rotary was more than 1.25 million people and everyone in the world volunteered to put service above self? If everyone exchanged ideas and took action? What kind of a world would we live in if we were this way? So close your eyes if you would like to. But let's take a moment of silence as we close out our 100 years and imagine what that would be like. Let's go out and make that world. Meeting adjourned.